These caught my eye on Goat, and they haven't dropped in the US yet, but I thought the price seemed reasonable enough to go ahead and grab them. So I put an offer out, it got accepted, and here they are. I think 126 is pretty decent for a pair of Dunk Lows, so we'll see what you all think. Standard box, nothing different about that. Tag reads Nike Dunk Low, and the colors are labeled as white, blackened blue, and Volt. This is a size 10. Good morning. And then have a look at these. I really like the way these things look. And immediately when I saw pictures, I actually thought that the swoosh and the outsole was a black color, but like the label suggests, it's called like black and blue, and it's really a nice deep navy color. But I really like the color combination of these, and I like this accent too. It actually reminds me of, I'm wearing the time capsule Nike Air Max 1s right now, and it kind of reminds me of that, just all these swooshes on top of each other. But you can see there's like a Volt, then like a orange color, it's almost like the orange on the box, and then like a neon blue. And it's just neat. They're all kind of like offset, and it's not stitching or anything, it's kind of just like printed on there, but I think it gives it a really cool effect. And you see that on the swoosh, and then we also see that on the tag, and I just think it's really cool looking. Another cool thing, this tag is leather and not like your standard cloth tag. Well, I don't know if I would call it leather. It's like synthetic leather. It's like Dunk caliber leather, so it's like synthetic stuff. But I think these are unique. I think for the price point of 126 bucks, I guess I probably have maybe 140-ish into them altogether. But for a Dunk Low, I think that's a really good price. I really like these light colors. I mean, the white base and then the light gray overlays. First thing that comes to mind there is the off-white Deer Summer, you know, the lot 1 through 50 or whatever. And I'm not suggesting I like these as much as those. However, these are clean and an affordable option, even getting them on the resale market. I looked today, and it looks like most sizes are still sitting around 130 bucks. Some are down in the 120s. So if you're interested in this, I would check out Goat and StockX. They haven't dropped in the US. I'm not sure if they're coming to the US, but I would imagine if they do, they'd probably end up getting more expensive after they dropped in the US. That's my thoughts. That's what I think. After seeing the performance of everything else, that's kind of what has been happening lately is, you know, they drop overseas, people don't really know about them, and they're selling for a pretty decent price, and then they drop here, and once they get on more people's radar over here, then the price goes up. But I also kind of think this light gray and then this real deep blue color, it kind of gives me like Georgetown vibes, especially if you look here on the back tab where it's that light gray color and then the stitching is in that real dark blue, blackened blue, whatever they call it. It just really looks like Georgetown colors to me. But getting into the review, you can see this outsole is a standard Dunk Low tread pattern, pivot point in the front, Nike branding there at the midfoot, and it's all just this real nice black and blue color. On the pictures, it really looked like it was black, but I think out here in the bright light, you can definitely tell that it's just a really deep blue, and I love that color. I think it's nice having a dark color on the outsole, just because it hides dirt and all that stuff pretty well. But then wrapping up from that, we can see that that blue outsole meets a bright white midsole with bright white stitching. And this pair came out really clean. I actually haven't seen any flaws on these, and I really like the shape of them. The toe box comes down at a nice gradual angle, and the front isn't, you know, a real drastic 90 degrees. But I just think these things are clean as can be, and I think it'll be an ideal shoe for wearing in the summertime because it's light in color. But then coming up from that bright white midsole, we see that for the mud guard and then the eye stays and wrapping around the heel here, we've just got this nice light gray color, and I just really like the shade of it. I wouldn't expect leather that's going to like blow your mind or anything. This just feels like standard Dunk leather. But that being said, it looks really nice. I love the color of it. All the stitching matches these gray panels. This pair came out really well. I hope that they all came out this good because they just look really, really nice in my opinion. But then for the base of the shoe, we just have a standard white leather, and like the gray leather, it just feels like your regular GR Dunk material. It's, you know, nothing great, but I think it looks good. And getting these at a decent price, that I think this material is completely acceptable for that. But we've got those perforations on the toe box, and then on the side panels you can see that white leather underneath the swoosh and all those 3D neon swooshes. And then we can see that white leather up around the collar and on the back, along with those rows of stitching. And the only other color, which also feels kind of synthetic, is these dark blue swooshes. And that leather is just like the rest of the leather on the shoe. Nothing to write home about, but I love the color and it looks nice on there. It looks like they gave us some flat gray laces to match these gray overlays on the shoe. And I think they look nice. We've got a standard nylon Dunk tongue, and it kind of has that blue tint to it that you see sometimes whenever it's like a white tongue, but it just has a little bit of like a blue tint. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, and I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but it's a white color with just a little bit of a really light blue hue to it. And the piping going around the tongue is that light gray color to match the laces and all the overlays on the shoe. And like I mentioned before, we've got this tag that is white synthetic leather with that 3D effect Nike branding on there again. And I think that looks real cool. And then for the sock liner and the insole, it's white and kind of has that light blue hue that the tongue does, if that makes sense. But let me know what you think of these, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.